Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by Dr. Pepper. And welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, where it is a spectacular Saturday night matchup. The number 18 Kansas State Wildcats of the Big 12 and the Vanderbilt Commodores of the SEC. Both teams come in 2-0. Vandy trying to go 3-0 for the first time since 2011. Lopsided wins in both of the first 2 weeks, 110 points combined for K-State. Vandy has scored 70 combined points in its first 2 wins, allowing just 6. And we're so glad to have you here with us tonight. I'm Mike Cousins, along with John Congemi. It's a steamy evening here in Nashville. And John, we don't know much about these two teams yet, but what we do know is that you can have comfort or you can have truth, but you certainly can't have both. And tonight these teams are going to find out what they've got.
Well, we do know a couple truths, and that's for Kansas State and their head coach, their Hall of Fame coach, Bill Snyder. He knows the importance of special teams, and he's an awesome head coach because of that. He'll try to value yards gained, those hidden yards in the kicking game, those extra first downs that you'll need to win a tough game on the road. Already this season, a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in the opener versus Charlotte, and to start the season, they added a 62-yard punt return for 6 points. But they have a guy behind center that can pull the trigger or beat you with his legs. He's a true dual-threat quarterback in Jesse Ertz. He has 13 touchdowns on the ground, 13 through the air, and he makes terrific decisions at the line of scrimmage and from the pocket. He'll stand in there, take the shot, or run you over with his legs. He keeps pressure on the edge of the opposing defenses.
John, Vanderbilt is confident because they have the son of an NFL offensive coordinator at quarterback and the best rusher in school history in the backfield.
Well, the junior quarterback, Kyle Shurmur, he has a big leap in confidence this season. He's taken ownership of this offense, and he'll spread the wealth around. Last week he hit 9 different receivers, and then that safety net in the backfield is Ralph Webb, the 5th-year senior. He holds 9 Vandy rushing records. He's strong between the tackles. He has speed on the edge. He'll take some pressure off of Shermer in the passing game.
Derek Mason, confident as ever in year number 4 here at the helm. He said, thinking back to the end of last year, a loss in the Independence Bowl against NC State and Shreveport provided all the pain he needed to motivate himself and his team for this year. Vanderbilt wins the opening toss, and Matthew McCrane sends it midway into the end zone. Here comes Vanderbilt for the first time tonight. The 2-0 Commodores get set up with Kyle Shurmur at the 25.
Derek Mason, it was evident that you can tell that Shermer has confidence in his ability. He has confidence of the football team around him, and he's been completing a very high percentage of his throws. That's what I like the most. Against Middle Tennessee to start the season, 13 of 14. Last week against Alabama A&M, 12 of 12. So this ball hasn't hit the ground much at practice, and it certainly has it going 2-0 to start the season.
Webb is the back with him on first down and 10. And Webb has the carry, cutting it right up the hash mark for a pickup of 2 for Vanderbilt's all-time leading rusher, making his 40th career start tonight.
And Mike, it'll be important to have balance if you're Vanderbilt on offense. You'll need Ralph Webb and his experience, the 3rd-year starter, to pick up positive yards on first down to keep Shermer and company in good situations on 2nd and 3rd.
Bunch of tight ends on the field as Sherfield goes in motion, and it's on the ground again up to the 31-yard line to set up 3rd down as Elijah Sullivan, the strong side linebacker, makes the stop on Webb.
We were talking about this game during the week and talking with both coaches. Who's going to be the most physical at the line of scrimmage? Who's going to be flying around to the football? Coach Mason wants his crowd to move that and win that line of scrimmage. But on the other side, Bill Snyder says his defense has that ability too. We saw that on 1st and 2nd down.
Shermer working against a 4-man front, which gives him time in the pocket to throw over the middle, and too strong intended for the tight end, Jared Pinkney. So 76% completion rate through the first 2 weeks, and his first pass hits the turf.
And Kyle knew it right away. He pointed at his shoulder, said, "That's on me, Jared Pinkney. I missed you over the middle, but it's going to bring on the punting unit."
And we expected everybody's numbers to take a dip this week because, as we mentioned just moments ago, the competition for the first 2 weeks was not near the level of what either team is facing tonight.
Well, this is where Kansas State has the advantage. We talked about it in the open. Special teams, they can be electric.
Sam Loy, native of California, with a rugby-style kick.
Or, Mike, they can kick it away from you.
Well, they're trying to get it away from Byron Pringle, who's one of the top wide receivers. And now starting field position is better than what they've averaged so far through the first 2 weeks. K-State, on average, has started at the 37-yard line. Here, after a 24-yard punt, Jesse Ertz takes over at his own 45.
That's the guy that can beat you on the ground. He can beat you throwing the pocket or throwing the football from the pocket. He does have weapons on the outside, but I like him running the football. It sets the tone for this offense.
Zuber is the wide receiver to the top of your screen, and Pringle to the bottom. And a handoff on the first play goes to the sophomore Alex Barnes, back to the line of scrimmage, and nothing more.
Boy, what a play at the line of scrimmage by safety Ryan White. Came up from that safety position, and you're going to see both defenses crowd the line of scrimmage and beg to win one-on-one matchups. And I know head coach Derek Mason, he's one of those defensive gurus. He's going to crowd the line of scrimmage, stunt, give you different looks to try to confuse the offensive scheme for Jesse Ertz, the quarterback.
Yeah, on paper, John, it's a three-man front with four linebackers for Vanderbilt, but they can show a lot more than that. Derek Mason as their defensive coordinator. Now stretching it out with the run for Ertz to the left side, and he sets up 3rd down and 5 for K-State on its first drive.
And we'll see a lot of that running outside. That's just a good old-fashioned quarterback sweep to the wide side of the field.
Two games in, Vandy has allowed 2 third down conversions. Four wide receivers and a quick throw on the slant. It's bobbled and nearly intercepted, incomplete, intended for Isaiah Harris, and Arnold Tarpley, the safety, was in the right spot and just couldn't hang on.
Both defenses showing up early. That ball should have been caught. That was right on the money by Jesse Ertz, and it goes through the hands of Harris, almost picked off by the safety for Vanderbilt. So both offenses go 3 and out.
Elijah Lipscomb is back deep to receive as Nick Walsh, the senior punter, puts it in the air. And he's got it at the 16-yard line. No score early on a steamy Saturday, and a sellout crowd in Nashville. And Vanderbilt Stadium is the site tonight, a sellout crowd. Tell you what, you walk up to the stadium, you walk into the stadium, and now you look at the scope of the stadium, you see a lot of one color, and it's neither black nor gold.
The people from Kansas State, I have to tell you, Mike, bought me a coffee today, had a good conversation with those guys, and they're here in droves. There must be 10, 15,000 in purple.
And it may be more than that. Capacity here is 40,550, but it's much better than 2-1. K-State fans to Vandy fans. Shermer and the Commodores on first down, go to the air, and he has the completion. The senior Trent Sherfield gains 15 on first down, and we go to the studio to check in with Chris Cotter.
Mike, check out the finish of this Florida-Tennessee game. The AT&T field pass, Felipe Franks. You see the clock on the lower right, counting down. He rolls to his right. Tells his receiver, Tyree Cleveland, to go to the post, and he does just that. Gets behind the defense. Final play of the game. The Gators win 26-20.
I think there's a lot of people who see that play and go, where was the help over the top?
Where was the guys lined up on the goal line?
Handoff on first down. Webb jukes his way across the 35, and he's leveled shy of the 40-yard line by the safety Kendall Adams. gaining 8 yards.
Mike, last 2 plays, you see examples of playmakers that Vanderbilt has on offense. We know about Shermer and his right arm, but Sherfield on the outside had a huge cushion on that out route, the timing out route. And then you get to see Ralph Webb. Once he gets to the edge of the defense, he can make you miss and has another gear. So good first down plays on this drive by Vanderbilt.
Dallas Rivers, the fullback, in motion, and the run goes behind him to the left side. Nothing there. Trent tanking. The middle linebacker comes up to get involved. And John, you know, when we talked to Andy Ludwig, Vanderbilt's offensive coordinator, I don't want to say that there wasn't optimism about the offensive line, but it certainly wasn't exuberance about where this unit is just yet in week 3.
Well, he knows it's a work in progress, and he knows this challenge tonight against the Wildcats, this is the best challenge they've had so far. So that right side of the line needs to catch up to the left side. But right now they have to convert on 3rd down, and I think Shermer's the one to do it with his right arm.
On 3rd and 2, a handoff up the middle for Kari Blasingame. And he's right to the line of scrimmage. A very close call to see if they get the first down.
I'm not so sure the spot was very favorable, and it looks like it's going to be 4th down.
Offense is staying on the field for now. Here come a couple of tight ends. Pinckney and Marcus come in.
Well, here's where you go snap count. You want to be able to get up to the line of scrimmage, try to draw the Wildcats front 7 off sides, and then decide if you're going to go for it or not.
Will they sneak it with Shermer? No, he goes off balance just a little bit, but he does get it as Blasingame pushes forward, and so does the Vanderbilt drive.
And that was a good adjustment. That was a busted play. Shermer looking for his running back, and it was a good job of making someone miss at the point of attack. Now you convert on 4th down. This might be an opportunity for offensive coordinator Andy Ludwig. Maybe a little play action, go over the top, take your shot with your best receiver on the outside, Trent Sherfield.
Shermer stands tall, dishes to the perimeter as Lipscomb, who is called for the penalty, makes the catch. And it'll be 2nd and 11 for Vandy, a gain of 9.
That's a quick escape out of the doghouse. Right away coming back and making a play. That was terrific by Linscomb on the outside, making the first 2 defenders on that Wildcat defense miss. Get back some of that penalty yardage. Now puts him in a decent 2nd down opportunity.
Empty backfield on 2nd and 11 as Webb, the running back, has been sent out wide to the right. And here comes the pressure from K-State with it up the middle. Shermer gets the throw off, and it's right near the first down marker. C.J. Duncan, the redshirt senior from Alabama. And the Commodores work right through the blitz.
Mike, love the call. You spread out the field. You know you're going to get a free blitzer up the middle. Shermer stands tall, and the easiest throw is right over the middle. So he finds C.J. Duncan for a big play, and now they have the football on the Wildcat side of the 50-yard line.
This is really, you could call it a leap year for Shermer, who last year only completed 54% of his throws and had 10 picks, 9 touchdowns. They need him to be better this year. And it's Webb right up the middle to the 46. We go to the and what has been billed as, and so far looks to be, a ball control game. Webb takes it going left, right behind a cavalcade of blockers, and a nice job by Nathan Marcus to lead the way before Denzel Goolsby, the sophomore, comes up and brings him down.
I think one of the keys to running the football successfully for Ralph Webb as he comes out on this 3rd down is his patience behind the line of scrimmage and his patience behind the tight ends. Terrific job of just hiding and then exploding with that speed to leave the Commodores at 3rd and short.
Sometimes you just need somebody to tie your shoe.
That's all. Shermer's watched and looked for over the middle receiver crossing routes on 3rd and short.
Plenty of time, and a wide open receiver inside the red zone. It's Jared Pinkney down to the 5-yard line. Big time hookup from Shermer to his tight end.
Great awareness by Kyle Shurmur in the pocket. It's a busted coverage in the back end. All he has to do is just float this to his big tight end, Jared Pinkney, and he almost gets in to score. A scoring saving tackle by Goldsby. But Pinkney just runs that short corner, and the Commodores inside the 5-yard line now, trying to get the first score of the game.
A gain of 38 yards for Pinkney. On the play fake, backwards, Shermer, incomplete. Looking for Lipscomb in the end zone, 2nd and goal.
Good job by Shermer throwing that football up and away where only his wide receiver could get to the football. Good pressure by Kansas State up front, but a better decision by Shermer, taking the football out of danger and throwing it up high.
Blasingame, the deep back here for Vanderbilt on 2nd and goal. And he gets the carry to the left side. Momentum will carry him far, but not far enough. And he's down just shy of the 1-yard line.
Trent Tanking must have been his name called 3 or 4 times early in this first quarter. Terrific job of coming up and being that run stuffer, that downhill dominant middle linebacker. 3rd and goal from the 2. Do you move the pocket to the wide side of the field? Give yourself an opportunity for a rub route to the wide side.
They got a couple of tight ends set up that way along with C.J. Duncan. Now Shermer off the back foot to the end zone. Touchdown Vanderbilt. C.J. Duncan hauls it in, and the Commodores lead 6-0.
Vanderbilt on a crossing route coming from the right side. This is just a great job of retreating by Kyle Shurmur, allowing his wide receiver C.J. Duncan to slip underneath the linebackers and into the short side for 6 points.
Number 17 in black, Tommy Openshaw, is on to kick the extra point. Derek Mason wants a guy who epitomizes what his program is all about. It's a guy who's earned his degree in engineering, science, and economics. You can go out and change the world, he says, but you know what? You got to change this football program first.
That's right.
Sustained drive for the Commodores. They go 13 plays, 84 yards, almost 8 minutes. And Shermer finds Duncan to start the scoring. A packed house in Nashville tonight for number 18 Kansas State and Vanderbilt as the Commodores look to start off a year 3-0 for the first time since the beginning of the James Franklin era in 2011. That last drive, a good one, John, and a long one.
A long one and a controlled one, and it was run and pass. You get a nice surge on 4th down. You're able to move the change. You get a busted coverage and find Pinkney behind coverage. And then Shermer does a great job of retreating, allowing C.J. Duncan to slip underneath that coverage for 6 points.
Openshaw with the boot and no return. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, Jesse Ertz can call himself someone who belongs in Lamar Jackson's company. The K-State quarterback last year, along with Lamar Jackson and a few others, rushed for more than 1,000, threw for more than 1,500. And it'll be a big challenge tonight for Vanderbilt to contain the senior from Iowa.
The key for Vanderbilt is not to miss Ertz the first time, because he's going to run those sweeps and it's going to be a controlled looking power play to the outside by the numbers, and he's going to pick his spot. And if he can get a hole and Coach Snyder can continue to use that method on the outside, the passing game will open up because of it.
And he's off to the right side, just waiting for an offensive lineman to get there and block for him. And it was the left guard, Abdul Beecham, who pulled around to open up the hole for a gain of 9 on the ground.
Well, you're right, Mike. Beecham comes from the left side, number 61. Big Beecham gets in front and does a terrific job taking out the linebacker, Burks. And that allows the patient Ertz to move ahead for the first down. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him hop around a couple times in that backfield and then try to throw the football out of that same formation.
Vanderbilt shows a blitz. Ertz makes a change at the line. Now back to throw on first down. That's a nice ball with some velocity behind it to the outside for Isaiah Zuber, the sophomore from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Zuber does a nice job of just showing his numbers to the quarterback, Jesse Ertz. And as you mentioned, Ertz has a very strong right arm. That's why you talk about dual threat quarterbacks. We saw Jackson from Louisville, obviously the Heisman Trophy winner. But this is a guy that does a lot of the same things. He just looks a little bit different doing it, but he throws the football really well down the field.
On 2nd and 1, Vandy blitzed off the corner and it got picked up. And now Ertz has room across the 30 inside the 25 where he's brought down on a 2nd and 1. An explosive run, 27 yards.
When teams run the quarterback, defenses do not account for him. Blitz coming from the short side, the corner goes outside, Ertz goes inside. Terrific block at the point of attack. And then he just uses his vision to move the football down to the 24-yard line. That's just good, sound football IQ, not only on the edge blocking, but by Ertz running the football.
It's Barnes, the running back, with him in the backfield, and Barnes takes it to the left side. Doesn't gain him much. Jonathan Wynn, the defensive end, comes up to make the stop for a loss of maybe a half yard. Big first couple weeks for this Vanderbilt defense. Now as we go inside a minute here in the first quarter, they've had 8 sacks, and they can add to their tackle for loss total, which was 20 to start the night. Ertz with time against a 4-man rush. That ball is knocked away and scooped up by Vanderbilt. It's off to the races, going the other way. Emmanuel Smith, say goodbye. No.
Mike, it looked like the referee, Scott Campbell, was waving incomplete.
And nobody played like there was a whistle. The Big 12 official, Scott Campbell, calls it dead.
Zach Ertz is bouncing around in the pocket. Definitely a pass. It looks like it hits the ground clearly. Vanderbilt defender scoop and score, but that ball was batted down at the line of scrimmage. Ertz is going to step to his right and throw the football. It's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Clearly right there. And just an incomplete pass.
Now 3rd and 11. To the edge. Catch is made by Zuber again, doing his best to stretch across the 15-yard line after making the grab.
And Mike, it looks like he's going to be about a yard and a half short of the first down, and I don't see the kicking unit coming on the field for the Wildcats.
And they're going to give themselves all the time that they can take to make that decision with the first quarter coming to an end. Lots of fans in purple have packed the house here in Nashville. And K-State has a decision, 4th and 1 to start the second. Every ticket sold, and apparently a lot of them to K-State fans tonight here at Vandy, but it's the Commodores after 15 minutes with a 7-0 advantage. Along with John Congemi, Mike Cousins, glad to have you with us. K-State with a 4th and 1 here, and the offense on the field. Ertz is the ball carrier to the corner and into the end zone, standing up. It took a couple of timeouts, but K-State gets its touchdown, an extra point away from tying it up.
Head coach Bill Snyder and the fans that drove 10 hours for doing a great job of making some noise, and what patience shown by Jesse Ertz. Each one of those quarterback sweeps, he's been patient enough to set up the blocks and then use his speed to either make first downs, and on that one, 8 plays, 75 yards after 4:13, he gets the touchdown.
Matthew McCrane, the 2-time All-Big 12 kicker, locks it up 7-7. Not only does he have good vision, but he's got good, willing blockers. The last one sealed off, 83 in white, a walk-on wide receiver, Dalton Schoen, getting after it. 7-7, K-State and Vanderbilt. Not only do the fans travel well, but so does the Jesse Ertz show. 12 yards a carry for the quarterback on his 5 carries. McCrane sends it into the sky. And Vanderbilt will take it out, 1st and 10, 25-yard line. Kyle Shurmur Jr., he's listed on the roster as being from Philadelphia, but over the course of his childhood, he probably had to change out his sports clothes in his closet quite a bit. There's his dad, Pat, when he worked with the Eagles. Pat was also the former head coach of the Cleveland Browns, and that's where Kyle started his high school career at the powerhouse St. Edward, just west of Cleveland, and then finished up at LaSalle College High School just north of Philly. Dad now the offensive coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings, and his junior son off to a good start tonight.
Really impressed watching him throw over the first 2 weeks of the season, and tonight in his command of the offense, the confidence he displays for his teammates at the quarterback position.
Oh, and they go empty on 1st down. And the throw is easily swatted away by Trey Deshawn, the sophomore defensive tackle, bursting through, arms up.
Trey Deshawn is going to come unblocked right up the middle. He's right here, and he's going to come straight through the line of scrimmage. Nobody's going to touch him. Guard kicks out. Deshawn comes in. Sorry, he was at the left tackle spot. So Deshawn moves out to the left tackle spot. Normally over the nose, he comes in untouched. That's a good defensive play on 1st down, putting pressure on the line of scrimmage.
Handoff for Webb, who waits for the traffic to clear and is wrapped up at the 28-yard line. John, you go back to that 1st down look, though, and even though he didn't get through, the middle linebacker, Trent Tanking, was the one who helped disturb the coverage there for the offensive line.
Identification on the offensive line. You miss a guy and you cut someone free, and he ends up right in the face of Kyle Shurmur, and now you've got 3rd down and medium, and you have to find a way to win outside again and be on target.
Shermer can stand tall. He didn't like any of his looks, and the ball is shoveled loose. It's going the other way, and it's Kendall Adams, his 3rd touchdown of the year.
First turnover of the season for Vanderbilt. Terrific job stripping the football. Geary gets the strip. Adams gets the scoop and score. And another non-offensive touchdown for the Wildcats.
So a critical review coming up here for Shermer and the Commodores to see if he had a knee down, which would just make it 4th down and 4.
Shermer's trying to step up into the pocket and keep this play alive. Let's see if the ball escapes his grasp. Oh, I don't know.
I think
indisputable video evidence is what the officials are looking for. Let's take a look at the bottom half See if his knee touches it. I don't know if his knee ever touched or grazed the turf before that football came flying out.
Wow.
That's a shocker to me there, Mike. I didn't see a picture where you could have indisputable video evidence to reverse that call. This is a shot from up high above the stadium. You can assume that his knee touched, but I sure didn't see it.
I thought all the shockers involving Kansas were Wichita-based, but we've got one here tonight from Manhattan. So 7-7 is our score. Wiped the third touchdown of the year for Kendall Adams, who had a pick six and a scoop for six last week for K-State. Sam Loy has had a very busy night, and this is his best looking kick here tonight. Back to the 32. Ertz back to throw, 4 wide receivers. Plenty of time to the far side of the field, and it's just dropped by Byron Pringle.
Case of trying to do too much before you get the football from Pringle on the outside. That was a good throw, good timing, nice route. Your primary job as a receiver is to catch the rock. Pringle drops it in front of his bench.
I've seen no change of emotion tonight from Coach Snyder. Very stoic.
Wildcats better hurry.
They get the snap off, and it's to Barnes again, and he's hit hard. Arnold Tarpley lays him down after Emmanuel Smith had him wrapped up, and they got to use a timeout here.
Smith and Tarpley, a 1-2 punch for the Commodores on defense. We talked about how physical this game was going to be. Tarpley coming out of the secondary lowers the boom on the Wildcats.
Vandy timeout. They've got one left.
Vanderbilt's done a nice job of forcing the pocket, closing in the pocket on Ertz in the passing game. Charles Wright gets a sack, his 5th of the season, 9th for the team, and then good close on the outside by Herndon to disrupt the timing in the pass offense of the Wildcats.
It's really cliche in sports to say that guys play as one unit, but this is year 4 now for Derek Mason. This is his defense, one of just a couple coaches in the country who's the head coach in the DC, and it's a group of guys who have bought into what he's selling, and it's paying off here.
Mikey has better players. They found leaders on this team and a scheme to match the talent, and it's showing up on the defensive side of the football tonight.
And a big 3rd and 10. Ertz steps up. He goes deep toward the sideline. Tipped up and out of bounds. Into double coverage. Wiley knocked it away.
Well, on that running play, it was Tarpley closing down and shutting it down. Ertz has plenty of time on this 3rd and long, but Wiley comes from center field. Good coverage, good bracket coverage underneath as well by Burks as Wiley breaks it up, attacks the football in the air.
We didn't see much, offensively speaking, over the last 5 minutes and change in that first half. And both coaches have questions that need answers as they go into the half.
And I'm sure if you've got the defensive goggles on, Mike, you're feeling pretty good on both sidelines right now.
C.J. Duncan with the score for Vandy. Ertz doing it on the ground. The primary offensive option for K-State. We're locked at 7 in Nashville. Tonight it's the battle for 3-0. Number 18 K-State and Vanderbilt locked at 7. So glad you're here with us If you're sweating it out at home, please know we are too. My
right.
cousin's John Kajemi on a steamy night in Nashville. Not a lot of offense to speak of. Probably the most important stat, Vanderbilt 5, Nashville 5. That's a number of, or Vanderbilt and K-State, I should say, with 5 punts apiece and 1 touchdown. Ertz on the ground and Shermer through the air. But the biggest play in this game was one that really didn't happen.
Well, Shermer's going to scramble, and all of a sudden the ball is lost. Geary strips the football. It's a scoop and score. It appears from Kendall Adams, who gets into the end zone. Replay looks at this. Now, remember, you need indisputable video evidence that Kyle Shurmur's right knee, his hip, something is down. We took a look 3 or 4 different ways. We couldn't find that evidence. And somewhere the replay officials did. It looked like Shurmur's body landed on Geary, never hit the ground. But this was a play, a huge play in this football game for the K-State defense. That was a score you're taking off the board. We start the second half all tied up at 7.
All those stats we saw are game tracked, brought to you tonight by Taco Bell. Jesse Ertz hands it off, and Justin Silman gets his first carry of the season, and this one's going to go quite a ways. You know, they say there's a guy who, when he walks into a room, he attracts a crowd.
Well, that got the K-State fans up.
He attracted 22 and then maybe 22,000 K-State fans. They've been waiting to see this guy for the first 2 weeks of the year, and they get what they want here tonight.
That was a mad scrum in the middle of the field. K-State just pushing the pile all the way up to the 40-yard line.
Well, he watched the first 2 weeks from the sideline, and from what we were told, he was a little bit dinged up. Coach Snyder, he got asked last week, well, how come he didn't play? The response? Because I didn't put him in the game.
That's right.
Now it's around the edge and some room to run. Cutting it back inside the 40-yard line. Bringing a little bit of juice to the running game for K-State.
There's back-to-back positive plays. This one goes for 23 yards to the short side of the field. Silman just using that speed and vision, cuts it back to the inside. Terrific block up front by Tyler Mitchell, the right guard, number 62, out in front to spring Silman.
Just the 9th career start for the sophomore from Matthews, Alabama, at right guard.
Might be time for quarterback run now.
And Silman doesn't even get a chance to catch his breath. He stays in the game. He ends up as a lead blocker, and Ertz crumbled pretty quickly on that play.
Well, Vanderbilt's defense has caught on to the quarterback run, because in the first half, Jesse Ertz went for 84 yards. And we talked about different gears and the way he's been able to get to the second level. He was flying in second, third, and fourth gear, multiple runs that propelled him to get him to the second level. In the second half, -3 yards running the football, and he's been stuck in neutral. This offense needs to go with him running the ball, but it's helpful that Silman is pitching in now.
Auto mechanics across America are cheering for John Kajemi.
Well, you've been driving that automatic all your life, right?
That's it. 2nd and 11. Up top. Incomplete. Whoa. Zuber got laid out.
This ball hangs down the middle of the field, trying to fit it into a tight window. That's just a good job converging on the football. Zuber had an opportunity to catch it, but that's the second time Wiley has come from second field. Number 5 from behind, plays the football in the air well again and separates it from the receiver.
Almost a hometown crowd feel tonight for the Wildcats. On 3rd and 11, it's up the middle, and this could be a first down. Ertz tumbles past the marker. He's going to move the chains. That's a playmaker right there.
Great second and third effort, and this is the best run Jesse Ertz has had in the second half. That little jump cut to the outside moves the chains for the Wildcats.
First and 10 with Silman. Silman off to the left side. Back through the middle, gets 5. Ertz has been a challenge for the Commodores on this drive. And they come into the backfield and rip them to the turf. Emmanuel Smith has been an active presence, number 4 in black.
The difference in the second half, the adjustment from head coach Derek Mason is attacking the quarterback runs. Anytime there's any hesitation, they're bringing safeties and linebackers and trying to shorten the time that Ertz has running the football.
Smothered to the 25-yard line. So now it's about special teams here for Bill Snyder, and he's got one of the best kickers in the country, Matthew McCrane, who's a tick under 89% for his career and a 2-time All-Big 12 pick.
You play the percentages on third down, try to get a couple more yards and make it a little bit easier of a chore for McCrane.
This is from 42 for the lead. And it is no good. A few words exchanged as they come off the field.
Mechanically, it was sound. Good snap, good hold. The ball just never came back. It started outside of the right upright and stayed right there.
So back and forth they go, trading field position but not points at Vanderbilt Stadium. 7-7. Fake it to the right. Webb takes it to the left and quickly tucks it into his body as Jade Kirby, the weak side linebacker, brings him down. He's not going to smile until they get out of here with a win. No. If they do.
Even then, it might be half of one.
Play action. Taking the deep shot down the middle of the field in single coverage. Knocked away. How about DJ Reed defending all by himself over Lipscomb?
Shermer let it rip down the middle of the field. Good protection. He knows he's going to get maybe a little pressure at the end of this, but had plenty of time to deliver. Puts the football in a really good spot, but DJ Reed battles over the top. That's just a good play all around. Lipscomb could not come down with it, and Reed battled right over the top through the football. Shermer and company had difficulty on third down, only 2 of 9. Protect the football is paramount here for Shermer.
So they want to throw on a third down and forever past the original line of scrimmage. Duncan is brought down shy of the first down, so they do regain some of the yardage, but now they'll punt.
Actually, a pretty good play trying to flip the field back to K-State. You needed to get positive yardage there on 3rd and long.
And that's a spot where so often you just see draw and maybe
Screen,
4 or 5 yards.
Right, that was a pretty good play on 3rd down. Now you're hoping your special teams does their job.
Room to return for the first time tonight with actual space. Here goes Reed with a flag down. He's off to the races and off to the end zone, but that may not stand. A legal block in the back against K-State. Wipes a second potential touchdown off the board.
Here's the penalty right here, guys, and it's right in front of the umpire. The umpire's looking at it the whole way. There's the block in the back, and he's reaching for the flag. and it's coming out. It's going to take back another explosive play from DJ Reed on the season. That was a clear block in the back, and as the official explaining it on the sidelines.
Doesn't it always seem like those blocks are the most inconsequential part of the play, where
Yes.
it's not going to make an impact?
You almost want to get in a position just to shield, and if you can't, you don't throw or shove or do anything on special teams.
Ertz has it, first down and 10 at the 29-yard line. Looking to stretch this to the edge. Not a lot of room as he goes out of bounds. So back to that play and the hypothetical of what could have been. You had the Shermer fumble, not
Scoop and
fumble,
score, right?
in the first half. That was taken back to the end zone by Kendall Adams and then wiped away. You have the missed field goal, and then you have the punt return right there. All things that could have been points for K-State. They're not, and we've got 15 minutes left, tied at 7. Now, this game has been a lot of things, but it has not been underwhelming. Saturday night, sellout crowd, SEC Big 12 tie game, fourth quarter. Commodores with a 4-man rush. Ertz has time, likes his options, and out past the 30-yard line, Pringle has it. We wondered at the end of the last quarter, where's the action been for him? And now it's starting to pick up here down the stretch.
Well, Kansas State, first of all, terrific protection in the pocket for Jesse Ertz. He had all day back there to allow Pringle to go down, run that deep curl route, and now back in a manageable third down opportunity for the Wildcats. Would not discount quarterback run.
Ertz quickly flushed out of the pocket. He's not going to have the room to run, so he throws to the sideline, and the ball is tipped and taken away by Vanderbilt. Going down the sideline, Ladarius Wiley. A potential game changer for the Commodores here in the fourth quarter.
The very first turnover of the season for Kansas State. Ertz is flushed to his right side, chased out of there by Charles Wright. He had a man because the defender had the back turned to Ertz. But a perfect play by Williams. He gets in the face of the wide receiver Pringle, and then the man on the spot in this second half playing the football, Ladarius Wiley, comes up with the interception. He's the recipient of the hard work, first by Wright in the backfield, and then Williams on the force, the strip of the football in the air. Terrific job by Vandy defensively, and now instant field position.
Four spread wide for Shermer. In the pocket across the middle of the field, C.J. Duncan takes it to the 25-yard line. A gain of 14 for the redshirt senior.
When Shermer's had time, he's been able to be on target and on time in the passing game. Good pocket, climbs it, throws it right on the numbers, and then a big shot by DJ Reed at the end of that play on Duncan.
Play fake for Webb to the backside of the play. Pinckney, the tight end, stretches forward for 4 yards. This is about as comfortable as the Commodores have looked offensively tonight.
And they're in valuable field position. You know, when a field goal means a lot in a game like this, tied at 7 in the fourth quarter, good call on first down. A screen play backside of the tight end. You want to be able to protect the football and come away with some type of points on this drive.
Man, stressful night. Coach Mason picked a good day to wear a t-shirt.
That's right.
It's Webb trying to find room through the middle, and tanking has been working the line with Bradley-like strength tonight, not allowing anybody to get through there.
Tanking's been the man in the middle for the Wildcats. Coming downhill, sure tackler. Just finds the football, the senior from Holton, Kansas.
Former walk-on who worked his way after a couple of years on special teams to being a starter in the middle of this defense. The stingiest in the Big 12 last year, looking to hold here on 3rd and 5. Shermer with a dart and a first down to the 10-yard line. Duncan has been his man.
And Mike, he's beaten man coverage across the face of the Wildcats defense twice on this drive. He's going to just get to the inside of the nickel coverage by Cree Moore. Just speed off the football, and separation allows Shermer to deliver it. And now they're moving, ball on the 12-yard line.
Duncan, the recipient of the only touchdown from Shermer tonight. And as you pointed out, that crossing route was how they scored the touchdown, and they've really liked it.
Fumble.
Webb goes down, the ball pops out, and K-State falls on it, but this is going to get reviewed. No question about it. Was he down?
Mike, it just looked like power football to the right side. Webb trying to push the pile. Ball comes out. We'll find out who has it when we come back.
Tides have turned quickly for Ralph Webb and Vanderbilt. It was an interception that set them up in plus territory and a turnover here in the red zone.
And it looked like Ralph Webb lost the football as he runs into the back of his own player. That ball's coming out. Will Geary, the defensive tackle for the Wildcats, actually gets that right arm on the football to make sure it does. This is going to be a turnover, and Kansas State avoiding a potential scoring opportunity from Vanderbilt. And we can take Kansas State and Vanderbilt off of this list coming into tonight. Two teams without turnovers, each team committing one.
So back deep in their own territory, number 18 Kansas State takes over, 1st and 10. Ertz has Barnes as the pitch man, and he takes it with a blocker in front. 1st down, and a little bit to add to it. Ertz looking to throw. Plenty of time. Run down by Wright, and he throws it away.
Really good decision by Jesse Ertz that time. Wanted to go for it all, had 3 seam routes going down the middle of the field from left to right, but terrific coverage on the back end from the Vanderbilt secondary, and he throws the football away wisely.
Returning starter there for K-State, and the numbers bear it out for Bill Snyder. The last 6 times he's returned his leading passer from the year before. His team won at least 9 games. Go back to Michael Bishop in 1998. Most recently, Colin Klein in 2012, who's now their quarterbacks coach. An off-balance throw down the sideline is incomplete.
Been really impressed with the secondary of the Commodores. Williams and Herndon, White and Tarpley have done an excellent job of pressuring the passing game and taking away time and space from Kansas State tonight, especially in the second half.
Interesting front here from Vanderbilt. It turns into a 4-man rush. Pocket collapsing, and the ball is picked off again. Ryan White with the 2nd pick of the night for the Commodores, and they're set up in prime territory again.
I'm not sure Jesse Ertz even saw Ryan White threw this blindly to his left. It looked like his eyes dropped, and he lost the secondary coverage for an instant. It looked like a little bit of a hesitation in the pocket, and I don't believe he ever saw Ryan White coming from that safety position right in front of Brian Pringle. Good read on the football, good break on the football by White. And now the Commodores again in excellent field position. Can they capitalize?
After the third turnover of the night, a chance for redemption for Ralph Webb and Vanderbilt. Shermer loading up. He goes inside the 5-yard line, down toward the goal line, and stopped at the 1. There is a flag on the play at the 10-yard line after the catch by Sherfield.
Holding, number 8, defense. Penalty decline, result of the play, first down.
The hold is down here before Sherfield makes the catch. So he goes up, attacks the football, but the hold is well in front on Duke Shelley.
Lassen game is the deep back with the ball on the 1. He takes the handoff, leaps up top, and is pushed back at the line of scrimmage. Tanking and Kirby stop him from going over the edge.
That's just not fair. Trent Tanking doing a great job in the middle of that Wildcats defense. He's missed one play, one snap on defense tonight, and he's been a one-man wrecking crew in the middle of that defense. How about a little play action here, Mike? Perfect time for it.
Marcus, the tight end, went in motion. The give is to Webb to the right side. Not going to get it done on second down.
Will Geary, Dishon, Tanking, all involved on first and second down for Kansas State. I just think you have to take the ball off the line of scrimmage, and you've got one of the better tight ends in the SEC, maybe in the country, in Pickney. He's a special guy, a big talent at 6'4".
Shermer picks it up on third down, fakes the throw, goes to the end zone, stretches, and he got it. Touchdown, Vanderbilt.
Shermer makes something out of nothing, a low snap. He does a terrific job of securing the ball. And let's see if he secures it as he breaks the plane of the goal line. Yes, he does. Touchdown, Vandy. Boy, what an excellent job of not losing your poise when your eyes drop to get the football, seeing green turf in front of you, and then the extra effort to get the ball over the plane of the goal line.
Exactly how everyone thought it would play out. A score off of a turnover. Blasingame turned away at the goal line. Webb was pushed back by a strong Wildcat front 7 push.
Sherfield does a great job down the middle of the field, going up to get this football by Kyle Shurmur. And then it's Shermer taking the snap at his feet, finding a way into the end zone, and finally breaking this tie. It's Vandy up by 7.
The Commodores drop the anchor in the end zone. A 2-yard scramble on a broken play for Kyle Shurmur. Our first points in 27 minutes of game action. Almost 2 full quarters with no scoring.
And Mike, somebody finally takes advantage of a turnover in great field position and puts the football into the end zone.
And a short kick fielded at the 28-yard line here for K-State, taken by Dayton Valentine, one of the up men on the kick return. And a name not a lot of college football fans might know. The all-time wins leader in college football, John Gallardi of Division III St. John's University in Minnesota. Ertz waiting all day. He escapes the pressure and gets to the 35-yard line. Jonathan Wynn breaking through there to help make the play. 49.
What's another sack, negative play on first down for the Vanderbilt defense. Good team speed by Wynn and Wright for Derek Mason's defense on first down. That's the 7th tackle for loss for the Commodores tonight.
Ertz wants to go up the middle. And he does. Finally smothered. And now third down. It's another passing down a distance here for K-State.
Well, it's been Zuber and Pringle going down the field, running those deep curl routes on third down, where Jesse Ertz has had time in the pocket to find his outside receivers. That's the key. The difference in Vanderbilt's defense in the second half, they've been able to pressure the pocket on third down.
Just 10 for 26 passing tonight for Ertz for 76 yards. Flushed again, 2 men in pursuit, and a flag down as he gets rid of it.
Holding, number 61, offense. That penalty is applied. Fourth down.
Left guard Abdul Beecham called for the holding. There aren't a lot of possessions left in this game if it continues to play out the way it has, barring the last 5 minutes of the second quarter.
Well, if you're Vanderbilt offensively, you're just trying to get that very first down when you possess the football here. That's the key for them moving deep into the fourth quarter.
Real nice punt, takes a hop inside the 20 and back inside the 10. Wow, how about it? First punt of the night, Charlotte, North Carolina's own Mitch Lockbeeler. A beauty. ESPN College Football presented tonight by Dr. Pepper. 6:31, fourth quarter. Yeah, we got a sellout crowd tonight in Nashville. My cousins, John Conjemi, head coach Derek Mason trying to snap an 18-game losing streak against ranked teams outside of the SEC. Last win. If you had to guess, yes or no, were there college football rankings in 1946?
I would say yes. Not many. They may only go to the top 10.
Easy for now to say, sure. Great punt by Lockbeeler. Sets up tough field position for Vanderbilt on this drive. Blasingame, the redshirt junior from Huntsville, Alabama, son of an engineer and a surgeon, trying to be precise. Off to the left side, gets 4 yards, and most importantly for Vanderbilt here, keeps the clock moving.
Positive yards on first down, very critical. They can't go backwards on second down either if you're Vanderbilt. And for K-State, you want to tackle the football. You've got a couple more times you're going to have a chance to win the game. You need a defensive stand here.
Quick throw right to the sticks. Sherfield.
Nice location by Shermer on the football, putting it in the belly of Liscombe. And that'll move the chains for the Commodores. Kyle doing a nice job staying in the huddle, milking that play clock. You don't want to snap it till it gets to 4 or 3.
Trusty Ralph Webb, wrapped up by Trent Tanking, keeps the clock moving. All he was concerned about was winning this first one, even with Alabama, Florida, and Georgia on the horizon. You can just pull a string and let the previous play repeat itself, Tanking with the tackle.
Timeout. Kansas State, first of the half. 30 seconds in length. Game clock operator.
K-State takes the timeout. 4:31 left in regulation. Well, they announced a sellout yesterday, a lot of purple and white. Although they may leave disappointed if the scores holds as it is now, 14-7. Vanderbilt the lead over Kansas State. 4:31 left here in the fourth quarter. Maybe some K-State faithful wondering, well, take the timeout here, but what about at the end of the second quarter when there was almost 90 seconds left on the clock there and the Wildcats let it run down? That was a possession they left.
It was. I think it's more desperate measures right now. They're trying to ensure possibly one or two possessions.
Well, interestingly, Vanderbilt taking a shot, and there was some contact there coming down the sideline between Duke Shelley and Trent Sherfield. Derek Mason's going to be livid here that there's not a call. Now, the standard for defensive pass interference in the book is obvious intent to impede, so that's what the officials are looking for here, whether they throw a flag.
Mike, it looked like Shelley went into the chest of the wide receiver there. That's definitely contact. Boy, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to keep on your belt loop there.
And plenty of time on the clock. 2 timeouts for K-State, needing a touchdown. That's a low kick, fielded at midfield by Pringle. Trying to take the scenic route, doesn't get anywhere. Ertz is set up with 2 wide receivers and potentially 2 lead blockers. On an option play, he shovels it to the outside. A first down and then some for Barnes. Picking up some good yardage. Multiple flags, at least 3 are on the field after the end of the play. Those were post-tackle flags.
Said, Mike, multiple flags at the end.
Personal foul, late hit, number 71, offense.
The right tackle, Dalton Reisner.
Not a very good decision by the junior Reisner. He's behind the play. There's nothing he's going to do to help it. The runner's down. That's just a bad decision. With 4:09 left to go in the fourth quarter, down 7, that's inexcusable. You can't rake the pile if it's not going to do anything to advance the football. Now you've got the ball back to almost where you started.
It's only a few yards difference from where the drive began. Ertz taken off to the wide side of the field, and he's wrapped up and torn to the turf. Arnold Tarpley.
Vanderbilt secondary has been playing this quarterback sweep much differently. More pressure from the corners. This time it comes from the middle. Tarpley comes out of the secondary to make an awesome play from the middle. Came a long way to stop the quarterback.
Vanderbilt drops 8. Ertz has a couple lead blockers in wide open space across the 40. He puts the 35 in the rear view and gets pushed out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Proven to be dangerous, a 15-yard run. He has unquestionably been the best weapon today for K-State.
And another design quarterback run on the draw this time. Good job getting white jerseys out in front. And Ertz does the wise thing, getting out of bounds close to the 27-yard line, or close to the 33-yard line, excuse me.
And getting a first down. Spread out with 4 wide, just looking to get those rushing lanes open. And he's down inside the 25-yard line as the clock hits 2:10.
It looks like Beecham, the left guard who was injured on the last set of downs, may have to come out for a play again.
He was slow to get up.
Well, it's been all quarterback run and Jesse Ertz for Bill Snyder offensively tonight. I mean, that has been the offense.
22 carries, 121 yards. And Ertz has been, as you said, the cog that has made their offense go.
It's been the quarterback run and the option play that has been the different wrinkle for Kansas State in the second half.
Simple through the middle for Barnes.
Kansas State's playing this end of game scenario. This is their only possession. This is their chance to tie or win the football game. Because they're taking their time, they're holding on to their timeouts. This is the possession to win the game, and they're playing it that way.
Ertz with Barnes in front, tries to kick it outside. Not gonna get there. Charles Wright in pursuit. Ends the run.
They may have to use a timeout here, Mike.
Timeout. Kansas State. Second half. 30-second timeout.
One timeout left for Bill Snyder and the Wildcats.
The difference in the defense for Vanderbilt is they've been able to get outside and set the edge and force Ertz to the sideline. They've been doing it with secondary pressure. They've done it with defensive end pressure and linebacker pressure, that time from Charles Wright on the short side of the field.
Ertz takes the snap, looks to throw over the middle. Heath was the target.
I don't think we've called Heath's name the entire night. Good throw, good timing. Ertz does a good job in the pocket of moving around, finding a window, puts it on his back shoulder. Boy, you've got to catch that football with 1:06 left to go.
Here's the game.
You got a quarterback that can extend plays.
Ertz drops, surveying the field. He's got all sorts of time. Now pressure, steps up looking to run. Across the 20, he cuts back, and it's going to be close, but the initial spot shows a turnover on downs.
What supreme effort by Jesse Ertz just to keep this play alive. He's going to avoid multiple tackles in the backfield, but let's credit Vanderbilt defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. Owen Burks finally corrals Ertz about 1.5 yards short of the first down, and there's the reaction from head coach Derek Mason and crew. What an effort by Jesse Ertz. He was the offense for Kansas State tonight.
A tireless evening for Jesse Ertz, who deserves a lot of credit for what he did for K-State. One timeout left for the Wildcats. So the beginning of the stretch works in favor of Vanderbilt. Number 18, Kansas State. This will end an 18-game non-SEC ranked team losing streak. Everybody says it. We want Bama.
They're gonna
you
get
got
them.
Bama. Number 1 team in the country coming to town with SEC Nation next week. And then on the road at Florida. And then into October with number 13, Georgia. A lot of talk this year about can Vanderbilt be the team to beat in the SEC East. This is a good way to get that conversation started on a steamy Saturday. The Commodores go to 3-0 for the first time since 2011. There may have been a lot more purple shirts in the crowd tonight, but the team in black and gold had just a little bit of extra juice. A hot one tonight. Everybody's sweaty. Derek Mason, the smartest guy in the building, he wore a T-shirt. We got dry cleaning to do.
I'm going T-shirt next week.
No doubt about it. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm Mike Cousins, reminding you again, Vandy 14, K-State 7. And saying good night from Nashville.